Hey, it's been a while. Hi, my name's Naomi. Welcome to my channel. This is Libby, by the way. If you didn't know, I work at Libby. And every now and then, I'll just get a little itch that I need to scratch, and that is to film a YouTube video. I have had this channel for a while, and some of you have seen videos from me before, but I haven't filmed in a really long time. I think it's been about a year. I'll usually come around Hispanic Heritage Month, and I always do a video recommending books for Hispanic Heritage Month. But I've been thinking about doing some videos here and there. We'll see what happens. I say that every time, and then I'll make a video and then disappear for a whole year. But if you want to see more from me, which I am much more active over on Instagram, TikTok, all of that, go follow me over there. But I have been wanting to create at least a few videos, so I am doing that today. And today I am going to be sharing some of my favorite books of 2026 so far. I have 6 books in front of me, and I just need to talk about it because I feel like a lot of people are asking me, like, what's your favorite book of the year so far? Or what should I read next? Or book recs in general. So I just wanted to make a video and talk through some of my favorites of the year. So if you haven't read them, you should read them. But yeah, I feel like even on Bookstagram lately, I've just been doing a lot of like comedy or just like trends and reels and stuff, and I haven't really talked or given any book recommendations or shared what I'm actually reading. I feel like it's all about books, but like I'm not really talking about books lately, if that makes any sense. So I just want to good old sit down in front of the camera and talk about all of the books that I've been reading that I've been loving. So like I said, I have 6 books in front of me, and I'm gonna start with the most obvious one because everyone and their mom has read this book, and that is Yesteryear by Caro Claire Burke. I mean, I'm sure that you've seen this around the internet. I really love this one. I know that a lot of people have mixed reactions to this. I mean, it's very popular. It is very polarizing. If you don't know what Yesteryear is about, it's basically about this trad wife influencer, and she is sent back in time to the 1800s, and then she actually has to put these skills that she talks about on the internet to actual use. It is a very interesting novel. That's all I can say without giving away any spoilers or anything. But I really enjoyed it. It was one of those books that, like, every chapter I read, I was like, I need to read the next one. I need to know what's going to happen next. And I haven't had that happen in a while, I fear. So, yeah, for it being a debut novel, it was very well written, and I just really enjoyed it. The next book I have, if you know me, then you would also know that this is an obvious one, and that is Girl's Girl by Sonia Feldman. I may be slightly biased because Sonia is my friend and she wrote this book, but I will say this book is amazing, and the New York Times said so. So it's not like I'm wrong here. Obviously, these are all 5 out of 5 stars, but 5 out of 5 stars. It's been a girl summer, and I don't make the rules. You have to read this book while it's summertime. Do not read this in the fall. Well, read it in the fall, read it any time of the year, but if you can, you must read this book in the summer. It's just been so lovely. I've attended so many events that Sonia has hosted around Cleveland or just like author events, and just hearing her talk about her novel, I feel like I've gotten so much context and just so much more out of this book. If you don't know what Girls Girl is about, obviously this cover is absolutely beautiful. This is a queer coming of age story, and it follows Mina and her 2 other best friends. And it is such a Midwest coming of age love story, love letter, honestly. It is beautifully written. Sonia has such a gift. And yeah, if you haven't read it, please do. Another one of my favorites, it's a romance also, is The Night We Met by Abby Jimenez. If you know me, Abby Jimenez is an auto-buy author for me. Everything that she's ever written, I've read. I absolutely adore her books. I think she's such a wonderful romance writer. And this one is about these 2 people that meet one night, and they're both kind of interested in each other, but nothing ever happens. And then later on, she ends up with his best friend. And yeah, I mean, they're in the same circle, but now they're kind of like forbidden love. And oh my God, this book, I mean, Abby Jimenez knows how to write a man. And I think Abby Jimenez does a really good job at writing like trauma and family dynamics. And I think that's what I love the most about her novels is like it is a romance, but there's always so much more complexity in like family dynamics and all of that. So, I mean, Abby Jimenez, she's amazing, wonderful, love her. Would you believe me if I told you that I have a fantasy book in my top 6 of the year so far? I do. I actually do. It is called Spark of the Everflame by Penn. My friend Tay and Shania has been talking about it, but Tay was the one who got us on Penn. Penn actually coming to Cleveland soon, so I was like, I need to read it before I go see her. I went in with extremely low expectations because I am not a fantasy girly as much anymore, really. I feel like I've read so much fantasy that I kind of know the formula by now, and I feel like fantasy is just very predictable to me now, and I just don't connect with fantasy as much anymore because I like more character driven books nowadays. But this one, I don't know what Penn Cole put in this book, but I was eating it up. Like, I really loved it. Not that I was expecting it to be like a trash book by any means, but like, I don't know. I just went in with very low expectations. I was like, okay. And I mean, it does have those like formula things of like the chosen one and like she didn't know she had powers and like, you know, all these things and royalty. But I think it's just the way that she wrote these characters that made it like so good for me. So Spark of the Everflame follows DM Bellator, and she is a commoner. Wink, wink. And she lives with her father and her brother, and her mom just went missing. And the book basically starts with that of the day that her mom goes missing. She's also a healer and she's trying to get into the world of magic and she's trying to get answers and figure out where her mom is. Her mom was also a healer and she thinks there was some sort of deal, secrets, all of these things. I'm currently reading the second book and it's so much better than the first one. But I mean, the first one was 5 out of 5. I loved it. So the second one, I'm eating it up too. So it's a really good series so far, and I'm really enjoying it. And the way Penn writes men, also, I'm loving it. DM Bellator, she's something else. I love her. The next book I just realized I don't own, which I should because I really loved it, and that is Bury Our Bones in the Midnight Soil by V. Schwab. Oh my god. V. Schwab, I mean, she's a writer. She gets paid for this, but she can write. I loved this book. This one is a vampire sapphic historical fiction saga. It is so epic and just beautifully written. I mean, like I said, V. Schwab just has writing skills. But Bury Our Bones in the Midnight Soil, I think the reason why I love it so much is I really like an epic saga or a story told in many years, just like spanning centuries. And this one starts in the 1500s and it goes all the way up to present time. It does have multiple POVs, and I mean, it follows vampires. They're immortal, so it must span many decades. But like I said, it is sapphic, which also gave it another star for me. And the writing is just absolutely beautiful. So if you're looking for a fantasy vampire book and you haven't found one that you like, try Bury Our Bones because I know a lot of people love Addie LaRue, and I think Addie LaRue is so beloved because of the writing. So definitely try Bury Our Bones in the Midnight Soil by V. Schwab. And the very last book that I have is a contemporary, and that is My Train Leaves at 3 by Natalie Guerrero. Oh my gosh, I just read this for my book club. This is by a Hispanic Latina author. Her name, like I said, Natalie Guerrero. This is a debut novel, and I was so impressed and shocked that this was a debut. This story follows Xiomara, and she lives in the Bronx in New York City. She is half Puerto Rican, half Dominican. And this one is for all of my musical theater girlies. Our girl Xiomara is trying to make it big in Broadway. And like I said, she lives in the Bronx and she is currently working multiple jobs to make ends meet. She is currently grieving the loss of her sister, and she does live with her mom, who is very Catholic and basically just disagrees with everything that she does in this book. And like I said, she works multiple jobs, and one of those jobs is at Ellen's Stardust Diner, which, if you don't know, is a diner in New York City where a lot of people in the musical theater industry work at so they can sing and they can be discovered. And she works there, and she actually somehow gets discovered, and there's this big opportunity in Broadway, and she kind of has to push aside her grief and everything that she's going through with her sister in order to be able to make her dreams come true. I loved this book. I loved all of the musical theater aspects of it. I love that it's a Hispanic Latina story. I don't think I'd ever seen anything musical or Broadway told in a way that does have like Hispanic representation as well. And it is so big, you know, Hamilton and the Heights. You would think there would be more, but yeah, like I said, I really loved it. I do want to say though, although it does sound very musical theater and New York and all this stuff, this book does get really, really dark. So definitely go into it knowing that. But I absolutely love this book. And yeah, one of my top favorites of 2026 so far. Oh my god, I can barely hold them because I'm also trying to hold Libby. Okay, those were my top 6 favorite books of the year so far of 2026. I am hoping to make more videos. I have a little list of a couple other videos that I want to make, but if there's anything specific that you want to see from me, let me know. I will gladly do it. And yeah, that was it. Let me know what you're reading next, and hopefully I'll see you soon. Bye.